Yeah, we straight chillin', serial killing, pre-cool villains on the mic, got you reeling. 5-star rated from the floor to the ceiling. If you catch a 1-star, no time for feelings. Got a demon DJ on the ones and twos by the name Beelzebub, so don't get confused. So grab a seat by the fire, roast a marlow or two, and prepare to hear the legend of the straight chillin' crew.
What up, nerds, and welcome to another alpha episode of Straight Chilling, the weekly horror movie review show where you chill and we kill, slice, dice, and chop up yet another horror movie. My name's Bob. I'll be your host for the evening. This is episode 501, recorded Wednesday, August 21st, 2024. Tonight we're talking about another Patreon pick. This was chosen by the one, the only Lou. The movie is The Grey from 2011. Before we get into it, let me introduce everyone else on the show. First up, calling in from Washington, D.C., we got your boy Randeezy.
Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
What's going on, buddy? Good to hear from you. Ready to get gray with you.
I am Gray. It reminds me of the human being mascot from
The
Community.
Greendale human being?
Yeah,
Yes,
the
the gray.
gray mass of a person.
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
That's
Get
he's a
gray
human
with
being
me.
and nothing more.
Get gray with me. Last but not least, calling in from Seoul, South Korea, we got your boy Soju.
Oh, what up? It's your boy Lone Wolf Stains. Ow, 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 boys. Bit of an
Ooh.
alpha, boys. That's what they call me, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I
Welcome
call
to
you a
Alpha
bit
Cast.
of an alpha.
A bit of an alpha. You
Just
know?
I'm a bit of a
little-
cryptid alpha.
Bit of an alpha nut, boys.
No.
Just go nuts over them alphas. I'm a
Which is not very
Sigma.
alpha, so I guess that's not quite right.
That's
You're a
quite,
beta
That's
alpha.
quite beta alpha.
I'm a bit of a,
A bit of a
omega,
beta alpha, yeah.
beta alpha, they call me.
They call me Sigma Bob.
Yes, that's what we call you.
I'm
Thank you.
I'm a lambda wolf myself, but I'll let you decipher whatever the hell that means to you.
My boy Lambda Randeezy.
Yep,
Love to
that's
see
me.
it.
So plump, so right.
So
Oh,
gray.
yes.
We're recording this one super early again because we're going to be doing some traveling during the holiday season.
How
So this
dare
is-
you?
I know. How
Mhm.
dare we? This is scheduled to drop November 6th. That probably won't change, shouldn't change. Anyways, hope everybody had a happy Halloween and is gearing up for Thanksgiving.
Hope
at the time
everyone
of this.
enjoyed our 500th episode. This is 501, boys. This is like this is like a fresh
Era.
start.
I feel like
we
it's
could do it.
presumptuous for us to record this before we
Right.
get to our
Actually,
500.
Maybe
I'm
we will
sure
Calling
our
our shots.
show is amazing and it really took us to the top. And now we have some kind of special deal going on.
spoken like a true alpha cast.
Oh, yeah.
We rule this shit.
We're a bit of an alpha cast.
We don't need it, but you love it.
If you're
Are you
listening
waiting to receive my limp penis?
to any other horror cast, you're a beta bish.
I can't imagine being the type of person that would take being called a beta seriously. Like, that shit exists.
That's because you're an alpha, brother.
Just,
Spoken like a true alpha.
oh, thank God.
Oh, thank God.
Dodging
Oh,
bullets. You
thank God.
You bitch. You beta. Get away from her, you beta. We housekeeping we can't really do because we're recording so far in advance, but the December poll's up. Vote
I bet
on
we
that
did
for
some
sure.
amazing things.
I
Oh my
bet
God.
they're incredible.
I've got so many promotions to say, but I
Dude.
just can't say them.
Yeah.
And there's mini casts every other Friday. They're probably great. And we probably got a shitload of new Patreon subscribers. So thank you guys for that.
Yeah. Slapping my
appreciate it.
ass. It's red. And
Oh, our asses are pert red.
yeah, we did the entirety of the Treehouse episodes. We covered all 30 of them, and that's
Yeah.
finished now. So
We did
listen.
Slap my ass, slap
Yeah.
your ass, slap his ass. Happy Hanukkah.
Yeah.
Oh
I think
yeah!
Oh yeah, I think it's safe to say our house is clean.
Yeah, this house is so fucking clean. It's not even dirtied yet.
This house is clean.
All right, we're kicking it off with the main event. Let's talk about The Gray.
What's on the back of the box?
Bob, do you
Justin.
have this box? Oh.
Ask Rob if he has that box.
Hey, Bob.
I got no box for you. I'm really letting you down.
Bob, with all those
know.
blues, you don't have a gray one? Is it because it's gray? That's why.
You
Huh?
should, I can't have any gray on my shelf.
It's a gray ray.
Makes it-
A gray,
have it.
right?
Yeah.
It's lesser than.
Yeah, these alpha eyes deserve better than all that gray.
Gray rays are for betas. It says,
Shave all your beta hairs.
says
Ugh.
Sigmund Bob over there.
Sigmund Bob.
Bob.
Sigmund Knopf.
Sigmund Bob. Hey, not my Christian name, guy.
Sigmund Bob over here. Oh
Gray
my
rays.
God.
Sigmund.
Their vision.
It's
ways- No,
early. Can you tell we've been doing this for 10 years? On point, right? We're
Yeah,
really
professional.
smooth.
Never
professional.
been smoother. Holy shit.
Nope, 501. It's like episode 1 again. We're just starting from scratch.
Yeah, let's just take it on back. We're doing a replay of this whole podcast real quick.
No box. I'm sure it exists. I did stream this one. It's easy to find. You can find it pretty much anywhere if you want to check it out. We're talking about The Gray, and from 2011, rated R with a runtime of an hour and 57 minutes. This was directed by Joe Carnahan, written by him as well, based on a short story by Ian Mackenzie Jeffers. This stars Liam Neeson, Dermot Mulroney, Frank Grillo, bunch of other hunky boys.
Whoa.
You know, just a bunch of alphas.
Yeah, just
Oh,
that's
man.
all. Yeah, just a bunch of alpha men doing what we do.
You can always tell a good pack by how many alphas it has.
Efficiency is what they're known for. They never
Yeah.
butt heads.
Luckily,
it.
this
We're just
podcast
normal men.
only has one. That the way it should be.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think
We
that
got
we're
an
all pretty
alpha,
clear
a
on that.
Sigmund, and whatever Randy said he was.
The perfect blend.
Yeah, really. That's really what you need.
Everybody knows.
I'm just a Jesus loving ex-marine.
Randy is an ex-Marine. The Gray.
Absolutely. I'm a Stolen
Talking
Valor
about
guy.
it. We're talking about plot synopsis brought to you by IMDb is as follows. After their plane crashes in Alaska, 6 oil workers are led by a skilled huntsman to survival, but a pack of merciless wolves haunts their every step. Boys, have we seen The Gray before? And would we recommend folks check it out? Randeezy, kick us off.
I had not seen this film. It has long been on my radar though, since I think it came out. People in my circles have talked about this movie to me, talked it up a little bit. Never been a huge, just straight action guy. But I think that if you are, this one would do it for you. I'm not sure it's such a recommend for me.
Right on. Juice, what about you?
You know what this movie made me think of? It made me think of staying with my parents and wandering into the living. Well, no. And wandering into the living room one day, and this would be a movie I can imagine my dad watching and me being like, oh, I'm gonna hang out with my dad, or I'm gonna sit here and watch a movie with my dad, and then watching it and be like, yeah, that was pretty good, or that was a movie to share with a family member. But it's not necessarily
Yeah.
something I would seek out. It's definitely a movie that it's on and it's good to enjoy in that kind of way, but not really something.
It's a good watch with dad.
Yeah, good.
That's
Well,
what I'm hearing.
I'm gonna get into some kind of more of that, but yeah, I think it. And actually, honestly, this is one of the first movies that we've covered a lot, and this is episode 501. But it was the first movie where I was thinking to myself, does this really belong? I don't know. This is the first one that's really made me question if it fits the cast, which we'll discuss as well. But yeah, definitely more of an
Huh.
action, not ghost, not just the
Yeah,
the gray.
Ghost never batted an eye at
No,
Ghost.
I mean that's definitely spooky, but yeah, I don't know. So
it's almost as scary as the like going into church and seeing the Holy Spirit. It's
whoa,
terrifying.
that's scary. Church is kind of scary. So loose recommend.
Yes, it is.
Loose recommend for me. Bob, how about you?
This was a first time watch for me as well. Heard of it a lot, never seen it with dad or otherwise. But I do generally enjoy Liam Neeson and like really anything I've ever seen him in, and I'm down for a survival movie, I guess is how I would describe this. You know, they get lost in the woods and have to survive really harsh conditions, and there are wolves everywhere. It reminded me a lot of that movie Frozen. I don't know if you, not the Disney one, but the one the horror movie directed by Adam Green that came out before that. People get stuck on a ski lift at a lodge,
Yeah,
Never seen
and
it.
there's wolves below
you
them.
mentioned it. Yeah.
Similar vibe. And I this is
horrific.
definitely close enough for me to be horror. We play fast and loose on this show, and
Yeah, we do.
alphas don't apologize. Here we
And
are
in
doing it.
life. In the show, on the show, and in life. You know what I kept getting it confused with is that Leonardo DiCaprio movie. I can't remember what it's called,
Revenant.
but yeah, The Revenant. Yeah,
I never saw that.
I think
That's
I did.
bears, Justin. Totally different.
I'm more of a bear guy.
I'm sorry. Do you know cinema? Okay. Do you
Bears
know?
and wolves are different.
God.
Robert DiCaprio would only eat a bear.
Not a wolf.
Duh. Does he eat
Everyone
the bear?
knows
I don't know.
that.
I've never fucking seen it.
I think I
Does he-
watched it on a plane ride. I think that was a plane ride watch.
This fits very well in that zone. This movie.
Yeah, the dad plane zone.
The bad-
It's
yeah,
right,
the dad-
right
yeah.
there.
It's in flight.
Did you watch it
film
with your
it's
dad or
on
did you watch it-
TBS in the afternoon?
Yeah,
It's those two.
kind of.
Did you watch it on a plane with your
Oh,
dad? That's
whoa.
next-
Too early for
next level.
football, Dad. What do you got? The gray? All right, sign me
I can
up.
only watch these 3 movies, son. Men just
I got this
dominating
Shawshank
animals.
Redemption and one that you're not allowed to see yet.
Damn.
It stars your mother.
I'm
right.
25,
We're-
Dad.
I'm 20. Oh, if only.
Almost.
If
Maybe when you're
only.
older, son.
This one's if I had an alpha son. All right, we're gonna be spoiling. That sounds like a very loose recommend, I guess, across the board here.
God, as
Yeah.
loose as it gets.
Loosey goosey. But we are gonna be spoiling the shit out of the gray, and here comes your warning.
Spoiler warning.
Whoa, Bob. Did you type up a plot synopsis?
I did, question master.
All right. Well, hit me with it, I guess.
Hitting you with my best.
Proceed,
plot.
says the
Bob
question
the Alpha
master.
gives you permission to proceed with your plot synopsis.
The Sigmund may regale me with a tale, but not too long.
Isn't Sigmund's like a magic man, right? Or Sigmund Freud? Wait,
A
who's
magic
that?
man.
Sigmund and
Okay, step back. Any deigning towards academia we could have possibly pulled off is completely fucked now.
Who's that guy? Who's that guy
Holy
who's got the
shit.
tiger?
Who's that guy? You mean Siegfried? And Roy? And or Roy?
my boy Sigfried.
We got bears, we got
My-
tigers, we got
my-
wolves.
I got a new
Magic.
therapist. His name is Siegfried Roy. He told me I want to date my mom. It's real weird.
Sigmund. Oh my god.
Boys, we're starting
Jesus
off 500 strong. This is going to be a good 100 blocks.
This guy right here can therapize my ass and also make a tiger disappear. What have you done with your life?
Show me a magic trick.
Show me a magic trick.
I actually don't
Sigmund
even. I
Freud.
don't even know what those tiger guys do. Are they still alive? Didn't the tiger get one of them?
No.
He did, but they're alive.
Oh, really?
Wait, aren't they alive?
I don't
They're
know.
alive, right?
I think
No.
at least one of them's dead.
I
Yeah.
think the tiger got him, right?
I think
The
he got
tiger did
fucked
get him.
up a
I don't know
little
if they
bit.
died by tigers.
Oh,
though. I
okay.
think that they did stop performing with tigers.
This
at
is
a certain
much
point.
better than a plot.
I think he got fucked
Yeah.
up just a
I mean,
little
let's do a
bit.
Siegfried and Roy synopsis real
So-
quick.
Well, the one
Early
guy,
lives.
the one oh no, this is a different Penn and Teller is what I'm thinking of.
Oh yeah, dude, we
But-
are all.
But the dude Penn, the big one, is he Penn? I don't fucking know.
Penn,
big
Penn is the
one-
big one. Teller's the one that doesn't speak. It's a pun.
He made oh, got it. He made a movie like
Oh really?
2018 or whatever. I was in my top 10 list. Nobody fucking saw it. It's really good. It's called Director's Cut. Check it out. You can stream it somewhere. But
Okay.
he like wrote it and fucking stars in it, and it's cool. Check it out. It's a horror
Yeah, they
movie.
did pass COVID actually.
Oh
Oh,
really? Both
shit.
of them?
Yeah, no, one of them and pancreatic cancer for the other. And
Oh,
Fuck.
that sucks.
really
does
shitty.
suck.
And there was a 2003 tiger.
Oh, but they, to be fair, I mean, this is not great, but one of them was 75 and one of them was 81 when they died. I didn't realize they were that
older
old.
gents.
I know they're that old.
Okay.
They
Okay.
had residencies in Las Vegas from like
Jesus.
I don't
Yeah.
know the 60s or some shit.
I only
Yeah.
know them from like Vegas Vacation. They've never aged a day since 1996 in my mind or whatever.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
amazing what celluloid does for you.
Oh man. Hey, okay, yeah, plot synopsis of The Gray. Here we go.
The Gray? What is the hell is that? What are we talking
The
about?
Gray. John Otway, he's working as a sharpshooter at a remote Alaskan oil facility, protecting the staff from frequent gray wolf attacks. His wife has died from a terminal illness, leaving him depressed and apathetic towards life. On Otway's last day at work, he considers suicide. The next day, Otway takes a flight back to Anchorage with several of his coworkers, and the flight crashes in the
You've got a big storm coming.
icy wilderness. The survivors build a fire and are attacked by wolves in the night. One of them is killed. In the morning, when the body is found, Otway suggests they head to the woods for cover, as a rescue team is unlikely to find them. Otway, Diaz, Talgett, Henrik, Flannery, and Burke, as well as Hernandez, all head south. When Flannery falls behind, the wolves descend on him, and they leave him dead before the others can help. When night falls, the wolves return, but they build a fire to scare them away. Diaz threatens Otway with a knife, and Otway quickly disarms him. A lone wolf then attacks Diaz, and they kill and eat it. Diaz also cuts its head off and taunts the other wolves with it. The group then discusses their beliefs, and Otway shares a poem that his father has written. The next morning, they find Burke has died from hypoxia. The group then tries to descend from a cliff by climbing across a makeshift rope and then down a tree. Talgett falls to the ground and is killed by wolves. Diaz also falls out of the tree and hurts his leg. Diaz, Otway, and Henrik are the only survivors now. They walk along a river, and the exhausted Diaz declares he can't go any further. He tells the others just to leave him, and they do. Otway and Henrik are then attacked by wolves again, and Henrik falls into the river. His foot gets caught between some rocks, and Otway is unable to save him. Otway then continues alone and appears to suffer from hypothermia. He finds a clearing in the woods and arranges all the wallets of his fallen coworkers in the shape of a cross. The wolves then appear again, and he realizes he's in the middle of their den. The other wolves back off, leaving only the alpha and Otway to fight. Otway takes some broken mini bottles in between his fingers and tapes them down. He also tapes a knife in his other hand. As they're about to charge each other, the credits begin to roll, and there is a mid-credit sequence where we see Otway and the wolf both laying in the snowy ground, dying after their battle.
It's not even mid credits. It's like you gotta watch the whole
That's
credits.
a
Like at
very
the
end
end. Yeah.
And also, like, are we sure that's what's happening? Because it just
Yeah.
it didn't seem clear to me what was happening.
It's
in
a
that
low
post-credit.
shot. Yeah. About.
It's like you
yeah.
can see both of them, like his head is lying on the wolf's belly, but it's like facing away from you, like so it's just
Yeah.
scalp, and then you just see a slow breath coming out
Yeah.
of the alpha wolf, and that's
It's a
really all you
quick
see. So I don't
shot,
know.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure. Like it just still felt ambiguous to me. Like I don't think that really reveals anything new. It just gives a
No.
burst of aftermath for a second for some reason. I don't know.
Interesting. Yeah, maybe I just read into it because it existed. Like, what if it's not showing anything new? Why have it? I guess.
No, I agree
But
with that. I just don't think I'm clear on what it is
Yeah.
there for.
I agree
you
with
know?
that. Yeah. I wasn't 100% clear either.
Okay. Well, maybe they're alive, maybe they're dead, maybe one of them died. Who
Yeah,
knows?
I think that's fine. I
Yeah.
honestly, all possibilities are fine. Like I kind
Yeah.
of feel like it works regardless. If he succeeds and he's survived, but the wolf didn't, then that's fine. If
He's
the wolf is
new
breathing because he's
alpha.
alive and he's
Yeah.
just his head sitting there against the body of the
Yeah.
sleeping wolf, that's also fine.
The other
Yeah.
wolves just start following Liam Neeson around.
We have a sequel where he's
just
I kind of thought that
Howls.
was it. Like, is he part of the pack now? I had that inkling kind of occurred to me.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Are you guys familiar with this ridiculous internet meme, the Liam Neeson thing?
What
No.
are you talking about?
Let me
Is
regale
this
you
some
with this.
skibbity bullshit?
I don't
Oh,
know what that
God.
is, Randy. Some maybe.
You're lucky. You're lucky.
Cool. There's there's a lot of pictures of Liam Neeson on the internet where he is just full blown pissed his pants, and the like
What?
memeification of it is Liam Peason, and there's a bunch of like theories that
Oh.
he has like this hardcore dedication to his craft that he refuses to walk off set to go use the bathroom, so he just pisses his pants so he can keep working.
There
or
are
maybe,
a lot of.
or maybe he has like
Why?
actual bladder issues or whatever. I don't
I
really
think, it's gotta be
think
that.
I don't really think there's any truth behind it. Like I did a brief amount of research and I couldn't find anything like hardcore evidence. But I mean, you can Photoshop some piss on someone's pants real
True.
easy.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair. Yeah. Okay.
I just think it's like a weird, funny thing.
I've never
I
heard
don't
of
know.
that until this moment. It's weird.
You're welcome.
You know,
Thanks.
if you have people with bladder and control issues tend to use diapers or other
Yeah,
such
like some kind
instruments
of-
to prevent that.
He
So I
also-
gotta think that it's not that.
I didn't look for any pictures of this, but he does also famously have a gigantic hog. Maybe the diapers just aren't big enough.
Oh,
Randy.
really?
Oh
like,
my God,
is it
that's
really? Or are
true.
you just fucking around?
No, that's
okay.
another thing that
It's another
internet
Willem
thing.
Dafoe, huh?
Yeah, it's like
Honey,
so
you've got a big storm coming.
damn. Calls us Dick Storm. Yeah, I don't know. It's just another one of those internet things. Apparently, she got a
Sounds
huge
like a
wiener.
high school coach. Dick Storm, Mr.
Ah.
Storm.
Dick Storm here.
Bet he's a
Gonna
true
lead y'all
alpha,
kids
too.
to victory.
To victory.
So anyway, I
Um,
think he does a good job in this movie. Liam Neeson like really does kind of carry it, and he does action sequences well.
he
Like,
does. Yeah,
in
I
general.
Liam
Yeah, I mean-
Neeson is that kind of guy where he's got those movies, and like I feel this kind of way about all Liam Neeson movies, where they all feel like those kind of dad movies, honestly. And and one of the reasons I said walking in on my dad watching it, this movie has one of those feelings of it feels like a type of movie that is made to allow men to have certain emotions. Like, in like to experience certain emotions. Like it feels like one of those more like crafted, designed movies that allow like stoic
wish
men or
fulfillment
strong men.
fantasy?
Well, a little bit, but it also puts it in a setting that makes it seem like, yeah, they're pushing to serve, like where those emotions would be acceptable. Whereas like if
Yeah.
you're just in your everyday
Yeah.
life, or you're not facing death, or you're not facing like certain destruction, then you're not allowed to feel those things. But in this
Yeah,
type of
what am I gonna
situa-
cry at Citizen Kane like a
yeah,
fucking
exactly.
Sigma?
It's like when you're but when you're crafting sticks and you're thinking of your daughter for the last time, and you're
Yeah.
then it's okay to feel those
It's a fear.
feelings.
Only
movie.
then.
It's like
They kind of
it's dad porn, but not the kind it sounds like. It's the kind that's
The
like
emotional
dads are like,
dad.
yeah, I'm that good of a dad. That's what like. It's an aspirational thing for dads.
It's just I mean it really Liam Neeson always kind of plays that kind of character where he's one of my problems with this film is he's always on top, like he always has the kind of solution, but he's not to admit he's scared, but he doesn't do it with a tear in his eye. You know what I'm saying? He's just like, I don't know, he's too perfect. He just fucking knows everything, and he's leads the pack, and I don't know.
You know,
it's
there's a word
just-
for that sort of character.
it's
Are
not
you
coming to
familiar
mind.
with
Huh.
those words.
Apparently not. Apparently I don't have those words. But no, I don't know. And so this movie feels like it's kind of shrouded in that whole kind of, or like that lens. It feels like everything that happens, whether it's gruesome or whether it's emotional or whether it's like considering, the afterlife or anything that's going on in this film, feels like it's going through that kind of lens. And I think that that kind of, I don't know, dilutes it a little bit for me when watching it.
I gotta agree, man. Like I feel like it's not even that he's like too perfect or that he's like I understand they're trying to make a correlation to alpha and all that stuff, which by the way is not a real thing. Bears
Randy,
mentioning.
You don't work at a
that is
zoo.
not a real thing in
Well,
nature.
I mean,
You
I
don't know.
Randy.
I'm familiar with the concept. The person they count that from
Randy.
one director of that study has come out and said, "Oh, our bad. We did that in captivity. That doesn't happen in nature." And people still keep saying it like it's real. Anyway, but yeah, like I feel like he just doesn't have an arc. Like that's the thing. Like his arc is survival. I understand that. That's fine. But like there's no like deeper arc for him except that he's sad about missing his wife, which it's a pretty shallow puddle, man. I don't know. Like it's like I
There's
just
a
don't get lot
struggle
from that.
There's a struggle with faith happening with his character, and
You think so?
well, yeah, I do. It's not very deep, but it does sort of like have an interesting moment towards the end where he actually does. He like seems like he's a proud atheist at the beginning, and he says as much when they're sharing or whatever, and then at the end he does like when he's totally alone, he
just
shouts
curse
at the
out
sky.
God.
Yeah, and he's like,
He does a Mel Gibson in Signs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. He says like,
Right.
show me something and I'll believe in you until the day you die or whatever. So he's like is open to the possibility because he's so fucking desperate. He's got nothing else to lean on. So he's not like fully believing in God, but he's at least now willing to accept it, I guess. So there's like a small arc happening there, but not, and he does arrange the wallets in like a cross shape when he's like reflecting on these other people that have fallen and stuff. So it's not like a huge arc, but a little bit.
I actually think there's a little bit more, to be fair, since you were
Yeah.
being kind of fair. And so I think the kind of arc and something that's done okay in this film is one of the big things is at the beginning he is about to commit suicide. So he writes this suicide note and everything. So it kind of does this flip with the whole like going from my life is not worth anything or I'm giving up to literally struggling for life, scraping and doing anything that you can to actually survive, to the point where even when he faces his final battle, whether he lives or he dies or whatever happens in the end of that scene, he goes out fighting. He's not going out giving up. He's not giving up on life. He's trying to maintain it no matter what, even if it seems hopeless and all that. So there is actually a little bit more
guess,
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
It just feels very like toe deep, and that's
does.
fine. That's
It
fine.
does.
It's not the end of the world or whatever. I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I watched this movie. I had to try and watch this movie 3 times. The first 2 times I both crashed and burned and fell asleep like midway to 2/3 of the way through. So it took me 3 attempts. I didn't watch the whole time, the entire film the second time or the third time, but I did see the whole thing. And I don't know, man, like this is I feel like there's not like the actions I can't pinpoint what it is, but something about this movie kind of lacks for me, like just generally speaking, and I'm really having a hard time pinpointing what the problem is for me. I know that I was also tired when I went to watch it those 2 times, and that's certainly on me, not the movie's fault. But I'm just saying, like, this movie was having a real hard time. I was having a real hard time connecting with this movie, and even with that, a baseline for an emotional core or whatever, it's pretty thin. I don't have a lot to hang on there. Like the characters seem pretty thin elsewhere. The action seems fine. The CG wolves don't seem so fine. And I don't know. It felt extra long and hard for me to get through. Did you guys experience anything like that?
This to me
Not
is
really.
it wasn't necessarily hard for me to get through. It did kind of like go on a little too long. But what I think about this movie is this feels like a type of movie. And again, it goes back to like the way I was describing it is about like this dad kind of movie. It feels like a movie that would be very easy to write. like it doesn't feel like a lot of effort was put into the writing because it really hits some kind of like basic beats of people, are stranded and there's some infighting, and when they really sit down to question life, they miss their children, they miss their wives, they miss their daughters, and they're sad about that. And when one fallen soldier goes, they're sad, but they press on. I mean, there's really not a whole lot extra to it. It feels like a very easy movie to write, and like if I just read the back of the box, I feel like I could pretty much get. There's no twist, there's no surprise, there's no extra depth or whatever. It pretty much is like what it is,
I agree. Yeah, it is. Maybe that's it. Is that it's like pretty bog standard, and
Yeah.
its narrative to the point where like nothing at all about this movie surprised me in the least, except for one thing, which is that I had thought in my head for whatever reason that this was a movie about Liam Neeson alone in the woods surviving and having to deal with a pack of wolves attacking just him. I had no idea that it was like a whole like a whole thing with extra people that he's trying to keep alive, that infighting, all that stuff. And I thought that would add to it. It didn't really add to it. Like I would kind of rather have just seen a character study of him, which is what we got in The Revenant, and this movie feels very similar to that, except maybe a little bit more going on underneath, and that's part of it. But that movie has its own problems or whatever. It's been a long enough time to where I won't comment too much on that. But I feel like that's the superior version of what this movie is doing.
Yeah.
And I feel like part of that has to do with the fact that there's like these other characters. They're not additive, really. They're very stock characters in my mind.
Yeah.
And they're not necessarily in a fun way. They're taken deadly serious. It feels like it feels like a morality play put on by Dad about what it is to be a man. That's
It
what
does,
it feels
yeah.
like.
It really does. And really the characters only feel like they're there to almost kind of like prop up or to highlight qualities of Liam Neeson. Like you got the asshole who's got to be there so Liam Neeson can stand up to him
Show
and
him
be
up.
the alpha, but also
begrudgingly.
yeah, but also forgive him or show him mercy and trust
good
him
leader.
and give
That's
him
what
his
being a
knife.
man
Yeah,
is.
it really does. It feels like this yeah, like this more or yeah, this way to highlight traits of masculinity, and again
Yeah.
placing it in a setting in a way where it's okay to accept those things. It's okay to show forgiveness when you're trying to survive, or when you're scraping
It's okay
by
to
or
admit fear when you're being
whatever.
attacked by wolves.
Yeah, it's okay to admit you're afraid when you're standing up to them and carving a knife, and just like
yeah.
I
he's
thought
like,
that
Carving a knife with a better knife.
with a larger knife.
I thought there was some like really solid action sequences in here that I did find engaging. Like as far as Liam Neeson's character goes, he did feel like a bit of a caricature at the beginning. You get to know a little more about him, and it opens up in a way that is good enough, I think. But some of the action sequences here, like I really thought the plane crash was done really well. The way it takes its time, and you're like waiting for it to happen. It's gonna happen if you read the plot synopsis, anyways. But like they all go to sleep and like they hang out on the plane for longer than I thought they would, and then it gets like super icy inside before it actually happens. And when that bitch rotates around and you can see like trees, I don't know. I just thought that was like really kind of well done.
And I shit my pants.
Yes,
Dude, as somebody who
or
flies
just pissed
frequently, I don't like that shit. That shit freaks me out.
Dude, yeah,
I honestly,
you're fucked.
Because it was like a
That
month
didn't-
ago that like a plane just fell out of the sky in like Malaysia or something. Did y'all see that?
Dude,
Where
yeah,
it
that's
literally like just fell straight down. It was like
God damn.
terrible, yeah. For like two, and they were like it was falling for like 2 minutes. It's like I can't even imagine the
It's a long 2
I've-
minutes.
yeah.
I've heard that Bright Eyes song.
Dude.
So I
Yeah.
don't know, man. I didn't have that reaction to this particular plane crash, which is crazy because I feel the same way generally about that stuff. Like even the one from Lost or whatever, that shit blew my tits off when I was a kid. I loved that. It was like incredible to think about. Like, oh my god, the fuselage ripped in half, and that's what happens in this. But I just didn't. It didn't sell for me really. I don't know if it was because it was so telegraphed. I knew where it was going so well, and it just the act of it didn't thrill me in the least, personally.
Yeah. It was yeah, it was okay for me. It's funny, I had the subtitles on, and before the plane crash, they're just general like background discussion, the type of discussion that you have when it fades out and Liam Neeson's like trying to sleep or whatever. It's so ridiculous. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it's so like
I'm like, if this thing goes down, don't put your head between your legs. That's
Well-
bullshit. And they're like, why would you even say that?
even that, but
Todd?
just like the subtitles of like what's happening. It's like so background, like background actors noise or whatever. But yeah, I don't know it, but also too, you know, when the plane does go down and they're like finding people and they're bleeding, you know, one of the very first things that happens is Liam Neeson finds this guy and he's dying, and he tells him he's dying, but he says it's okay, and he calms him and he walks him even though he has no faith. I mean, just that whole thing of like he's in a time of stress, but he's gentle, and even though he has no faith, he gives somebody faith in their dying moments. Right? It just
literally
like,
it's literally the thing from Bone Tomahawk at the end where what's his dick
yeah,
is talking
kind
to
of,
Richard
yeah.
Jenkins.
Oh,
He's like,
yeah.
I had to tell him what he wanted to hear, but we get to like, but the brutality of that scene is what makes that work. Like, it's so brutal what happens in
Mhm.
that scene. And this scene, it's like, you know, it's as impactful as any other scene like it. But that's just it. Is there's a lot of scenes like it where it's like, the stoic person has to be there and like, and just gives it to him straight and does
Well, even the reaction,
the honest, truthful thing, and tells him, and it's like,
yeah.
you're gonna die. Just watch me and look at me in the eye.
But
Just
the
look me in
dying
the
man
eye."
accepts it and doesn't panic
Yeah.
or doesn't like freak out. He just calmly looks into Liam Neeson's eyes and goes
mean, those
peacefully
eyes.
into the void. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
know?
just too
That's
much.
leadership.
It's just too much of a this is the way it is magically in dad's minds. Like that's what it feels like. It feels like it does feel like this kind of like wish fulfillment fantasy thing a little bit of like if
Yeah.
someone was dying in my arms, this is how a man handles it. And if somebody
Yeah.
needs leadership, this is how a man handles it. And if
Everyone's
guess you
somebody
freaking out,
could-
but not Liam Neeson's.
You could read into like as the movie develops and you find out that his wife has passed away. There's a lot of flashbacks of like
that's true.
you know
That's
laying on
true.
the bed with her and looking into her eyes, and he probably has a lot of experience of like I assume
That's fair.
comforting her as she was passing. So it's kind of ready for it, I
Maybe
guess,
they
when it
could have
happens.
flashed to her for a second, like they do in other parts.
That would have
and
been, yeah.
moment.
To
Maybe.
hint,
Here's the
to
other thing,
hint
though,
at
like,
it, yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong. Grant, I watched this so many times and I still have problems with like I still can't remember certain things. Was it clear that she had died at the beginning? Because I wasn't
No,
That,
sure
that's
if it was left
supposed to
ambiguous
be
until
the
the
twist.
end, right?
It was,
Yeah.
yes.
So like
Right.
you don't know that, and so I
Yeah.
guess that's
Yeah.
why they wouldn't have telegraphed it there exactly.
they
I don't know
should
why they try
have.
and make that as a twist. Like, give me some. Yeah, that gives me something to like to hang my hat on as I'm watching him go through all this to bring home what you're talking about, Justin. If they don't set it up,
Yeah.
and it just like the recontextualization of it, it's not big enough of a twist or anything like that to mean anything.
Because
The
either way,
whole time
she's
I'm like, well, is
gone,
she
yeah.
dead or is she just left him? Who knows? And I guess we'll find out.
Yeah,
later.
you're not.
And that's
you're
it.
not sure. I wouldn't call it a twist at all. It's just like it's a
Yeah, or like-
reveal, I guess.
Well, I
or-
think it is
Yeah,
a little
yeah.
bit because the whole idea is he another element that it doesn't really kind of matter, but they use it to set that up is he writes this letter. And so you're thinking like, yeah, she is out there somewhere and he's
I
trying
think
to
that might be the
contact
intention,
her.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? So but it doesn't, I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter.
I think from the minute he was writing that letter, I was already suspicious. I was like, well, I'll bet she's probably dead. This is probably a journaling device or
She
something.
did.
And it's like,
I bet
I
the
don't know.
tiger
Damn, Ray.
got her.
It's very. It seems very
pet
clear that
tiger.
that's what's happening, but also they leave it so ambiguous. I'm like, maybe I'm not giving this movie enough credit. Maybe it'll do something different than what seems very obvious to me now, and it
Yeah.
never does. Instead,
Randy's
it just, like,
got
treats it like a
Sigmund
big
power.
reveal. You know,
He's a magician. He can read into the movie.
Me and my tigers will psychoanalyze your ass.
Damn. I want a psychic tiger. That's what I
Me
want.
too. Who doesn't
That'd be-
want a psychic tiger?
That'd be
You know what
tight.
I
who want to
don't
live,
want?
I think.
Anything but a psychic tiger. If you're getting me a Christmas present this
Don't
year,
get me the psychic
Jesus.
tiger.
I will throw it in the trash.
Wait a minute, that's
swear.
reverse psychology. I know this.
Nothing gets by you,
My
Sigmund.
tiger told
Randy.
me not to listen to you because you're using reverse psychology.
Now, I will say there was like at the beginning they did, or well, I guess there's this one scene, maybe there's more. So the one that sticks out to me when we're talking about, so I think something we need to do is this really was the first movie that comes to mind. There could be others where I was thinking like, I really don't know if this matches this podcast because one, it's very dramatic or it's when we talk about a horror comedy or something, it feels like an action drama or I would say maybe drama first, drama action or whatever. But
Elevated drama.
elevated drama. But I mean, there were a couple scenes of some brutality and a couple jump scares, I guess. So the guy who gets taken in the night when they're the first night when they're doing the watch, he's playing the video games. I think he goes to take a piss or something. And then they wake up the next morning and he's essentially been eaten and there's a lot kind of like left over. And they do some pretty close-up shots of his entrails kind of hanging out and stuff like that. But after that, I mean, the one guy gets eaten when he kind of wanders off from the group, right? And then one dude goes to sleep and dies, Burke. One dude falls out of a tree and then kind of gets dragged off by wolves. That's not too brutal. I don't know. I mean, there were a couple scenes of brutality. There was a one jump scare where the guy, Burke again, is sleeping and he like wakes up, but they give it a wolf noise. Did y'all notice that?
I did not notice that.
Yeah, it was a
fantastic though.
It was a jump scare, but it was just him waking up, like having a dream. It's when he was like talking, and they're like, "Oh, he's suffering from hypoxia or whatever." But it made a wolf sound when he like sat up, and I was like, Jesus Christ. But yeah, I don't know. Did y'all find what was the horror elements in this for you guys where you could kind of justify it being on a horror podcast?
I think
I don't
just
justify that.
I mean, I know we don't need to I'm just like
Yeah.
as a discussion point.
the survival element of it is like, I guess it's more of a real life thing. It's nothing supernatural, obviously.
Yeah.
But it is,
Neither
dude.
is
If I was,
Jaws, I mean,
true, and we covered
Yeah,
Jaws, and it's
yeah.
it's another creature hunting you. Yeah,
that's an
So-
adventure action as well. That's
yeah,
true.
survival horror, wilderness horror. Like there is a bit of a subgenre of that, and like, it's. I think you're kind of splitting hairs. Really, I think this is close enough. There's enough tension in it for me, and enough gore in it for me, and there was. I don't know. I thought the plane crash was actually pretty scary.
Yeah.
In addition to what we've talked about already, I think the most tense sequence for me, the one that really had my butt puckering,
Whoa.
is when Dylan McDermott or Dermot Mulroney. Dermot Mulroney. I fucking mix him up all the time.
The famous
Is-
game.
Is when he is shimmying across the line to the tree and he's got his hand is hurt and his glasses fall off.
I
And he
thought
just
about
fucking-
you and the glasses fell. I was
Dude,
like, I
I
bet Bob
was
is not like this.
Squirming. I hate that scene. Fucked me up. And then he falls
Damn.
and gets eaten by wolves. I thought that really built a lot of great tension.
that the way that it's shot, because it looks like below him there's this huge canyon, but they're jumping across, and when he falls, he like falls in the trees.
Yeah,
I
it
was
like
very
It was
swings
uncomfortable.
him
shot
into the
really
tree.
weird. Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah,
Like
I don't know.
somebody-
It worked for me.
The way they even like led up to that was weird because I was like, oh, he's jumping off like into the
And they
tree? Is
said
that
when
the
it
plan?
gets
Like,
yeah, I don't, because he's like, when we feel the tension, we're gonna pull on it. And I was like, well, that wouldn't do anything.
I don't know.
'Cause you're
man. I'm
jumping
very-
You're on a cliff and there's assumedly a lower cliff, but you're not swinging to the cliff. So if somebody's running up here and they jump and they get tense here and you pull on them, it's gonna pull them back towards
Well,
the
Well, I
canyon.
think the idea must have
He's
been
gonna-
that they were jumping into a tree. Sorry, Rob, you go ahead.
Yeah, he's jumping into a tree. He's gonna tie it off.
But pulling him wouldn't help.
I don't remember the exact line, but the sense I get is like he's gonna, when they feel tension after he ties it off, they're gonna pull it.
Yeah, when
taut.
he ties it off. I don't
Yeah,
know.
that makes sense, but that wouldn't lead any tension to them saying like, "Oh no, the knot wasn't pulled," because they make it seem like he is holding him up.
I don't
When the
remember
guy goes
Oh.
to, oh shit, the knot came undone, and he's like going to like grab the knot really quick, and it's like, oh, I have to hold him up or else he's gonna die. You know what I'm talking about?
I think maybe they were just really worried about dropping the line because if they do, they can't get it
they can't get
back.
across.
Also, a
Okay,
makeshift rope made of like tied
is.
together sweaters
Yeah.
and shit. So like
Yeah.
maybe it's like those knots and not the one that he tied.
No,
off
it
with.
is,
I don't know.
yeah, for sure. But I just,
Gotta
I,
tie
it,
those-
it was shot weird, and I was a little confused about how they're trying to sell it. Dude, I am not jumping across a.
I couldn't. I would fucking
I'm
die
not-
immediately.
Also, I think anyone would die. I mean, like,
Yeah.
who's gonna? You can't just jump 30 feet into a tree, like, and be okay. Like,
I mean, if you're
that's
an
not-
Olympian, maybe, but I don't
This
think
guy-
they were.
I don't
Like
think
you would
that
at
you could.
you would
do
at
it.
least run a real risk of impaling your whole fucking body on the tree you're trying to barrel
Yeah.
on your way over, like at bare
Yeah.
minimum. And if that doesn't happen, you might also not get a good grip and fall. Like there's a very, very slim chance that you're gonna
That's yeah.
not die.
Yeah, it's
I would find
I
another
guess that's
way.
where the tension's supposed to come
It's
from. But
desperate.
it just felt like I
Also,
don't
too,
know,
that
like, I
kind of
just wasn't
sucks.
invested.
Yeah, because the whole idea too is like you jump over this chasm, and so they should be fairly safe at that point. How the wolves get across the chasm?
My question
got down
is,
there real
why not
fast,
use
didn't
that
Yeah,
rope?
they were there
They were there, but also like, why not use that same makeshift rope to
to
climb
swing
down a rope,
or yeah, climb down to a cliff. Yeah,
climb down the side of the cliff you're
maybe
on?
just wasn't long enough.
Do you need to jump at all?
yeah. I
I-
didn't really.
well,
I don't
when-
know. I'm
when it-
not a
when it-
frontiersman, but
When it breaks and he like flings into the tree hanging on the rope, he still falls a very long way.
he
Maybe it just
does.
wasn't long enough, you know.
maybe
I don't know. That
but
shit fucked me up. I thought that really worked. And then
Oh
after
yeah,
that,
that was fine.
the scene of the dude Henrik, was it, who gets caught and drowns, built good tension, but I got so frustrated that motherfucking Liam Neeson wouldn't try anything but pull on the dude. Like he's clearly stuck. Go underwater and see if you can get him unstuck. Like, he
But
just didn't
also, you're
do
like the
anything.
fucking snot. I don't want to get in the water.
Dude,
Well, I know you're
It's
already kinda
cold.
in the
Ooh,
water,
My
but-
nips are already
Yeah.
hard.
Dude,
Ooh.
hypothermia.
You don't want that
will
giant dick
kill
No, I'm
you.
with you.
shrivel
I'm
up.
with you. Like, no, it's more than that though. It's like rushing river. Like that's why his foot got stuck. He puts his head under there. He might get swept off. Like you don't know what the fuck.
my boy
I don't know.
Neeson's can do anything.
I feel like
He's
he
an
could have
outlaw.
apparently tried. He
He's
was
an
just yanking with all his might, which
Right.
was a
yeah.
very like I think that was an effective death scene. Like I was like, damn, that's a heartbreaker.
Yeah,
You know,
that's a
whatever.
He
I get
drowns.
that.
His mouth is like a matter of inches away
Yeah.
from the top of the water. It's tough to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
It
gonna
is
pull
tough.
the curtain back a little bit, boys. So you can't. So when he at the very
Show us
end,
that hog.
no,
Show
I-
that fucking
I-
meat.
I know it's supposed to be badass when he takes the little bottles and you smash them on the thing. Dude, those on a plane, they're plastic. You can't take glass
Even
bottles.
if they
on
aren't, they're like you don't like they don't smash like a big ass
Yeah.
like movie bottle. of
Pulling the
Jack
curtain
Daniels.
back.
They're
The
plastic.
mini bottles.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know that not many people have ridden planes before.
I'm blowing this thing
Uh,
wide open, boys. This whole thing's bullshit.
Checkmate.
Thank you,
writers.
Justin.
Liam.
My life is a lie.
Oh man, I wish they would have used the pot breaking sound effect from Wet Hot American Summer, and that's
Need to do a straight chilling cut.
yeah. I don't know. This movie is basically like I not immediately, but I thought about there's this clickhole article that is like something that
Clickhole.
years ago. It's an Onion website.
It's an
One from
oniony
The Onion.
click hole.
It's an oniony clickhole. No, it's like a satire website. that's like BuzzFeed was or whatever. But years ago, they released an article that if I bring it up to Beck, they'll immediately start laughing because it's like just one of those things that tickles them so much. The headline is "Meet the terminally ill woman who is choosing to end her life with dignity at the snapping jaws of 20 hungry wolves." That's how this movie
Sounds like
ends.
something Beck would be into.
It does, yeah.
With dignity.
Well, also, so to be fair too, because it kind of been railing on this movie a little bit. To
Yeah.
go back to Bob's shot that affected him from an artistic standpoint, I thought it was actually pretty cool and a pretty effective kind of rug pull, just in your gut a little bit of when the guy falls from swinging from the rope or whatever, and he's laying in the snow, and he had already talked about his daughter. So we do have that dad moment where it's the little girl and her hair's coming down and it's like brushing across his face, but the reality is the wolves are tearing him apart, which
Yeah.
is Snapchat. I was like,
Yeah.
damn, that's pretty fucking brutal. Like
That is, man.
that's pretty fucked up. Yeah.
I thought that was effective too. Yeah, like I don't know. There's a handful of moments like that do
Mhm.
make this go from being like completely bog standard to being like,
Yeah,
it
there's
has
moments.
it has its moments. It
Yeah.
has its moments.
It does. It does.
I agree. Like I don't know. The thing is, like I say, like we kind of railed on this movie, like you said, and I think we pinpointed as much as we can what some of my issues were with this. But ultimately, it's just kind of a medium movie. It just kind of hits very medium to me.
Sure.
And those are the things that keep it from being less than medium. Those are the things that help it stay above board. And that and Liam Neeson's performance and the fact that none of the other performers are doing like a god awful job or anything. Everybody's putting in the work and doing stuff. It's just like some of the writing and like the feeling that this is like propaganda for dads. Like, I don't know. Just
There was another beat that was like kind of fairly horrific after Diaz kills the wolf. Well, they kind of help him out, but the wolf attacks him. The lone wolf attacks him. They kill him. And then fucking Liam Neeson's like, we're going to shove a stick up this thing's ass and we're going to fucking eat it. It's like fucking nuts. But they eat it. And then Diaz cuts its head off and it takes fucking like at least a minute. It's a really long sequence.
I kind of appreciated that.
Me too. It goes like it does the full Lord of the Flies thing in that moment. And I was like, fuck, we're getting off the rails here. These boys are freaking out. Precisely. I like that beat in the movie. And it feels kind of horror-y too.
I like it, but I
agree.
also feel like it's pressing the hate this character button real damn hard at the same time.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that I had a hard time not reacting to that part of it. But I did appreciate that when he went in to cut it off, it wasn't like a movie cut off where it's like a quick slice and he's like, and that's it. They made him take his time, and they didn't like sort of linger on the shot so much as they just kept cutting back and forth. He just wasn't done yet, and he's just like, and he's just kind of going at it, trying to get this thing to work because he wants to make his big fucking dramatic scene, and it just takes him forever.
Yeah.
It's like somebody trying to I don't know. It's like somebody trying to break a bottle on the maiden voyage of a vessel, and it's not breaking. It feels like I don't know. Like,
And Alpha would have cut that wolf's head off in one slice, no problem, man.
but he would have done it with a solitary tear strolling from his stoic eyes.
Out of respect, of course, for the wolf's life.
Yes, that's what a boy likes.
You don't waste a single part of that wolf. You honor it because
You
you're a
honor
man.
Yeah.
By ramming a stick up its ass.
Well, I mean,
I have a daddy kink.
damn. I don't know how that applies, but
They should have just held on to Liam Neeson's giant dong and climbed down that. They would have been safe.
apparently.
Well, you never
Right.
know when it's going to start spouting piss, and they're going to be slipping and sliding. You
damn.
can't control it.
I don't like that. That's a meme. Or that's a little situation I don't like.
Oh, come on. Richard Gere has it worse. Come on.
I don't know.
Do people know about that?
The
Like
gerbil?
yeah,
It's in
Oh yeah,
Scream.
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah. That's right.
It
yeah.
is in Scream. That I'm sure all the young folks listen to our show. I wonder if they have any fucking idea like what that is referencing. That can't be a thing that younger folks know, right?
Dude,
don't
I don't
know. It
know.
doesn't
what
have the word
anybody
skibbity in it.
knows.
I don't know what a skippity is.
Oh
We-
god.
We don't need to know.
There's a
the less
toilet
you know, the less
involved.
you can repeat. Don't let me pass this virus to you.
I'm infect me, Randy.
Oh God.
Do it.
All right.
Something
All right.
something I did not necessarily love is I just generally don't enjoy narration in film a lot. And this movie opens up with Liam Neeson narrating what turns out to be a suicide note that he's writing. And that reveal is effective, I think. Like when you realize that, you're like, oh fuck, he's not just talking. Like this is gonna be it.
He does more than just the suicide note, or is it? Because I don't. When he goes into the bar
I
and he's like,
thought-
I
Yeah.
need to be around people like me, the convicts
Men
and the
unfit
outcasts.
for-
I think it's
and-
illustrating what he's already written at that point.
Okay, why would he write like that then? If that's a suicide note, that's not great.
Because he's like, I don't
Oh, you're
belong in society.
critiquing
sort of.
suicide note.
Yeah, if that's what it is.
This needs a second draft,
Oh
Liam.
my god.
Come on.
Liam, you can't go out on this one, my guy. I mean, come on.
Come on.
Look at that dong. You
Yeah.
deserve better.
Dude, we had this, and then earlier this year we did that True Detective Night Country or whatever. Dude, we talk about hating desert settings a lot, but equally I could not live in Alaska. That is a no-go for me.
Oh yeah, living in no, but I mean having gone to Iceland in the snowy seasons,
Yeah.
like that shit kind of rules as a visit. It's
Yeah.
pretty great to experience. I wouldn't live there though. Fuck
Short
that.
term. Oof. Ugh.
Yeah, absolutely. But I don't know, like the idea that people go there because they don't fit into society anywhere else or whatever. That's an interesting thing. I
Yeah.
don't know. Like
And some people like the
I
cold.
just- no, and that's totally fine. And there's people native to that area, like it's fine. But like I feel like that's maybe a bit of a trope, but I think it's a trope that they didn't necessarily make as good on as I would have liked. Most of the characters in this aren't that insane or whatever. Diaz is the only one that acts like a huge prick, and it's just so that Liam Neeson has somebody to take out his male aggression on in an acceptable way. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
What-
the
I
thing
don't know.
about this movie too, is you said like, oh, I mean, they're kind of in this mid ground where you kind of thought, oh, maybe this would be a Liam Neeson solo kicking ass in the wilderness. And it's not. You had the supporting cast, but the supporting
they don't
cast
add a
is
lot.
kind of annoying. Yeah, you've got that one guy who makes it kind of halfway, I guess, through the movie, who's just fucking obnoxious. And he's meant to
Todd.
be there because he's gonna get taken or whatever, but it's just
Wrong movie.
well, yeah, I guess. And then Liam Neeson, and then that one guy to kind of test Liam Neeson, but it's so negative. And then the guy, I guess, playing the video games too. They're all just like kind of annoying or assholes, and they're essentially there to be this movie's red shirts. And so I don't know, it makes it a bit of an unpleasant experience because they're annoying or pieces
and
of
like,
shit.
very few people power struggle or anything like that, and that's the thing that is resonant with the themes that they're talking about in this movie. Like
Yeah, Lord of
is
the
the power struggle of
Flies.
like who's lead. Yeah, that sort of
Diaz
shit. Like,
does, but
Diaz does, but that's it.
Yeah.
And he he
Yeah.
backs off real hard. He like submits to the alpha's authority, and like he eventually, like doesn't kill himself, but he allows himself to die, and get ripped to shreds with dignity. But I don't
With
know.
dignity, of course.
That's like everybody. I think Justin's right. Like everybody's kind of like nobody is like, I don't know. Nobody is vying for anything. They're just sort of like passively kind of dickish and like
Yeah,
out of touch with what's happening with them
I agree.
at worst. And they fall into line so quick just to follow somebody. Maybe that's part of like what they're. Maybe that's part of the
Dude,
theme
if I
or
just
whatever, I
survived a
don't know, but it
plane
doesn't
crash
seem right.
and somebody else is out there making some spear sticks and like, all right, we're gonna head toward the woods. I'm like, yeah, let's just do. I'm not fighting anybody.
I don't-
What do you like?
No.
What do you?
Well, yeah, but you and
dude,
I are
just
not who we're
survived,
talking about.
I know. I'm just saying, like, in a
Yeah.
general sense of, what am I gonna do? Hang out here at this plane? Like, I mean,
where you see the wolves
Well,
attack.
but
Yeah.
where the black box
Alone?
is, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah,
like, there's
I just-
reasons you could have that discussion, but like that's the thing. Like even on Lost, they did that shit where some people moved to the caves, and the other people think, no, we won't be seen at the caves, like shit like that. Like
Yeah.
there's very little of that, And it feels like everybody just like falls right into line with what Liam Neeson is doing, which may be a quirk of human nature, but they seem to be setting something else up in the previous moments to where it would be more of a power struggle. And they just don't really make good on it for the most part, I don't think.
Yeah.
When Liam Neeson, I'm pretty sure he's talking to Diaz, they're having like some sort of power struggle, and he says, "I'm gonna start beating your ass in the next 5 seconds." That's a hell of a line
Gonna
right
beat
there.
your ass
You
raw.
dirty bitch!
Yes.
Out of respect. The wolves were okay.
Oh,
like the
man.
CG was maybe not perfect, but it
Mm.
wasn't. I didn't find it to be so bad that I was like, "Oh,
Yeah, it
fuck,
wasn't
they
so
look
bad.
terrible."
A lot of it was very cheesy,
They
though.
worked
The
around it
scene,
a lot.
the
They did,
scene
yeah.
where they first come up and all the eyes start lighting up in the dark.
Mhm.
They're still at the
Yeah.
plane, and the guys all stand around like they're their own pack with their
That's so
sticks. And
movie.
he's like, "Don't move." But then all the
You gotta
it's
eye
like
fuck them.
it's like the wolves just open their eyes because all of a sudden it's just like these lights popping
It
up
is
with their
very
wolves'
Scooby-Doo,
eyes.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they just
Now.
appear.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of funny actually.
And
They
open
just,
your
like, slowly-
eyes.
They
Slowly
materialize.
pulled out of the darkness. Maybe that would have made more sense.
And then
Yeah.
I
they
don't know
start
that it would have
reading
been
your
much
mind
better, but
because they're
that's such a movie moment. You know what I mean? And not, I don't
is,
mean
yeah.
that as like a super positive. It's just so like
Yeah.
that just doesn't happen, and it feels like this moment of real tension is being undercut by the unreality of that a little bit.
It is. It
Would you
is.
guys hang out in that fucking bar at the beginning of the movie?
Dude, I mean,
I
where
mean,
else
if it's
you
the
gonna
only one in
hang out?
town,
Yeah.
I guess.
I guess that's fair. Yeah, that shit was nuts.
There's some rough characters in that.
Yeah.
They casted well.
We're just normal men.
Well,
We're just innocent men.
I don't know if they're innocent in that one. I don't know.
They're innocent, man.
They're fucking brawling like, and it was lit. It was the brightest bar I've ever seen
Dude,
in my
yeah.
fucking life.
it's essentially just a warehouse.
Yeah, it's you could
Yeah.
do surgery in there or get blackout drunk and beat someone's ass. It's fair game.
It really feels like if somebody told me that this was a remake of an old Western where the wolves were replaced with coyotes or something, I would not be the least bit surprised. It's just
It's got that
that's
feel, yeah.
maybe part of the issue that I'm like, it just feels so much like in line with that sort of movie, and that it's movies that's just sort of played out to me, I guess. So maybe that's what it is. Like if you told me that it was a remake of a old Japanese movie, like a Seven Samurai sort of deal, that was like a seminal movie way back when, even before Westerns were a big thing, and it was about, you know, I don't know, fucking a bunch of tigers attacking people who, you know, shipwreck on an island, I wouldn't be surprised by that either. It is a timeless tale in its way, but it kind of doesn't work to its benefit because I feel like this timeless tale has been told and retold ad nauseum, almost as much as like the Chosen One narrative and shit like that. It just feels very by number to me.
Well, Randy, per classic Randy, we're starting to land the plane here. Any other major points you guys want to hit before we go ahead and rate this thing?
I'm already rating.
Okay,
We know
Let's-
how this works.
let's do it. Randy, finish your thoughts, man. And out of 5, how do you feel about The Gray?
Grays.
Yeah, I mean that really is the
The
gist of
alien
it. Like
women.
I have a
We're covering.
yeah, it could have
Put
The
it in
Gray.
my butt, Wolf.
Damn.
The Gray was almost the title of the movie Old. But anyway, so this is like a this is pretty much what I've been saying the whole time. Is it's not a bad movie. I don't dislike the movie. I'm just very uninterested in it because it is playing with just so many elements that I've seen done so many times and frequently better. I feel like the acting is a little bit better than your bog standard version of this movie. I think that the action sequence is about on par with what you would see. It feels very of its era in its action sequences to me. It's not incredibly well thought out at certain times with the logic of it. The whole thing is like this fucking wolf expert leads them directly to a goddamn wolf's den. I don't know, man. Like maybe you're not real good at this. I don't know. It just feels like something that I don't dislike. I enjoy it on just like a very surface level, but I'm not interested in engaging with it very deeply. It doesn't really. It sort of deigns like it's got a deeper point, but it doesn't really. I don't really think that it has a point that isn't made in better movies, much better ways. So to that end, I dislike it. But to the other end, where it's just like a good, solid action flick that gives you what you plopped the money down for or whatever, I'm kind of okay with it. Like, I don't have a big problem with it. So for me, that puts it dead center of my rating scale. My experience with it was extra not good, and that's partially my fault for being so tired when I tried to watch it. But I'm trying not to include that as a factor. But like, just generally, the experience I had was, yeah, okay, it's a movie. It is something to watch, and I have watched it. So to me, it's a 2.5, I think.
2.5 from your boy Rand DZ Juice. How do you feel?
Yeah, I feel about the same. Like you say, it's not a bad movie. If I I obviously watched it for this cast, but if I had just caught it, I would have been like, yeah, it is what it is. However, if this was like a plane watch and I was watching it solo, I probably would have cut it off at the halfway point, to be honest. Just because it is very kind of like stock standard. It's not really doing anything new. It's not really doing anything that I feel like I haven't seen or experienced before. There's nothing particularly exciting or interesting about the elements that they're bringing to the table. They're just there to kind of move the plot along in a manageable type of way, in a reasonable type of way. And it does it. It really just does feel like it's just kind of like doing what it needs to do to be called a film. Like, I don't know, like it just but yeah, Liam Neeson is too perfect. He's too stoic. He's too idolized kind of dad vibes or masculine vibes, and he just always has the answers. And the whole twist of the end is his wife that he was already missing, she didn't actually leave him. Who would leave Liam Neeson? She died or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like, even
He's
that,
just in
it's like,
mourning. Oh.
yeah,
With that
he's-
hog, no one would
yeah,
leave him.
it's like he's not even flawed in any kind of way. His wife died, and so he's sad about that. It's like,
She was
well,
into the frequent urination too.
Bob.
Wow.
Have some
Wow.
respect for the
Rob.
dead, Bob.
R.I.P. Liam Neeson's
reputation. Bob, you good? You there, Bob? Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
okay. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a capable film and it does what it needs to do, but nothing else, nothing extra, not really bringing a whole lot to the table here. So yeah, I think I'll just echo Randy and say it was a 2.5. That's fine. That's fine. Bob,
2.5
Yeah.
from Juice. Yo.
out of 5, what are you gonna rate the Greys?
Let me restart my Zoom because you guys
Yeah,
are.
you're having a hard. Yeah, that's why I asked you
Yeah,
if you
it's-
were
it's-
there.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
like, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Give me 1 second, boys.
Sure. Yeah, this movie's almost like a Viking parable or something, just retold for the
I
100th
know, yeah,
time.
that would make sense if if that were true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I mean,
That's
like,
why
those
I kept double checking. I was like, I do not want to watch this whole movie and find out, because I was like, it's the Liam Neeson one, right? The Wolves.
Yeah, I don't want to.
So I was just like double checking. No, I was.
Please tell me I got the wrong
I'm
stream.
halfway through. I just want to make sure this is the movie we're right.
I would. I mean, you could have just watched Demon Knight.
We could, dude. Throwback. Dude, I
Mhm.
can't believe it. But I was listening to some like old episodes, some Halloween ones recently, just to get into I think like I was listening to some of the Simpson ones, and I was like, dude, if we do the Simpsons again this year, this is the 5th year. So half the
That's
run.
nuts.
So I think I was listening to the first one, and it was like 5 years ago, and I was like, Jesus.
Oh, Rob's waiting.
Christ.
Hold on.
I got it. Yeah, I pressed the button.
Okay, cool. Okay, good.
I was just
Yeah,
like,
that's,
what the fuck
That's
is
kind of
this?
crazy. Warren,
Yeah.
Warren's gonna be on our
Okay,
next
well-
episode too. So.
Oh, really? Okay.
Confirm time with him on that. By the way. Hey,
Who
Bob.
dat?
You good?
I was saying that Warren
talking
should
about
be on
Warren.
our next episode.
Oh, cool. Yeah,
so we
yeah,
can like
yeah.
confirm Simpsons
Yeah.
stuff with him.
Good call. Good call. Okay. Juice. I'll hit record and point to you. Can you like ask me what my rating is again? Because I don't think any of that's usable.
Okay.
Let me get this going.
Bob, out of 5, what are you gonna rate the Grays?
The Greys, the famous alien film with
Yes,
all the
the
butt
probes.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm mostly in line with you guys. I might be a little more like down with what this movie is serving up. I think this is like the perfect like, flick. Like if you're gonna describe like a flick, not like a movie or a film or whatever. This is just like something to throw on like with the family, kind of, your dad's scenario, like, something that's gonna be
Mhm.
relatively tense and pleasing to most people that encounter it. And it's got, a well-known dude, Liam Neeson, doing kind of like his Liam Neeson badass thing. And I think he does that well. And that's kind of what people typically expect from him. There's a little bit of gore. There is, when the plane crashes, something that I forgot to mention is someone is still strapped down alive and the dude next to him is cut clean in half. So there's like a bit of gruesomeness happening here. Not a ton, but enough, I think. And it did build some tension in some scenes pretty effectively for me, specifically the whole canyon thing. The Lord of the Flies aspect adds a bit of flavor to it as well. It's not a super deep movie that I think requires a ton of pondering. It really just is like that. It's a popcorn flick. You throw it on with the fam on a lazy Sunday, and you get to
Popcorn
see
classic.
Liam Neeson, put some motherfuckers in their place, but with his heart because he loves them, and he
It's like
really
a few
really is a
years
big
away
softy.
It's like a couple years away from being like a red box fodder type of movie.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I
it
mean?
is kind of is that. Yeah, it does have a bit of the dad porn thing going on, but like you could, I don't know, perfect double feature, Gray and Fear, like
I mean,
perfect
double feature if you want to like militarize your dad.
It's been Fear. God damn.
Holy
I got-
shit! I gotta step up.
Dude, that episode
got a cinema boner.
as shit though. Go back and listen to our Straight Chilling episode covering Fear. That shit's
the
good as fuck.
the Fear review.
Watch the behind the scenes. You can see my nipples.
Whoa,
yeah, you actually
Or
actually
Eva.
can. I forgot about that. Or Eva. Yeah, I'm a little higher than you guys. I think I'm gonna come in with a 3. I think there's more good than bad here. But yeah, it's not blowing your giant wiener off or anything. That's gonna put our
Thank
aggregate
God,
at
I need that.
it's, it's not gonna wolf your giant wiener off.
That's all I got going for me.
So
It's all I got.
My giant wiener.
there's a HBO show called Hung about this very concept.
I got
That and
nothing
the-
except my giant wiener. So
That an
I'm
amazing
just a
bladder
humble motherfucker with a
control.
big ass dick.
All I got. Humble mother. That's going to put our aggregate at a 2.7. And as is per usual, whenever you guys pick a movie for us to review, we encourage you to send over a voicemail or an email with your own thoughts and rating. And Lou did send over a voicemail for us today. Randy, do you have that?
I do. Here we go.
Hey, Straight Chilling crew. It's Lou calling from the west coast of Ireland. And I'm calling with my U-Pick review, which was The Grey. I hope you guys liked it. I picked it because it's a banger. Now, people might think, is it a horror? Yes, it is. In my opinion, it is. Those wolves are not normal wolves. They're a monster. There's suspense, there's fear, there's gore. There's jump scares, So yes, in my opinion, it's a her. The plane crash is brilliant. I really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was an excellent, excellent plane crash. I know it sounds awful to say, but I did. And the deaths are pretty varied and pretty nasty. The first one and the last one in particular. Your man drowning at the end is heartbreaking. Let me think. Oh, Liam Neeson is an absolute badass in this. Now, the irony hasn't escaped me that I'm calling about a film that I've picked which has an Irish bloke, and I'm calling from Ireland. It's a complete coincidence. I'm not a particularly massive Liam Neeson fan, but I did think he was amazing in this. And the end scene is epic. Once more into the fray, it's amazing. It sticks with me. Mental health issues, I've always had them, and I think that this film represents them really, really well. The music is amazing, and I'm pretty sure it's the same music that is from one of my other favourite films of all time, which is Sunshine, Adagio in D minor. I'm pretty sure it's the same. Correct me if I'm wrong. And that's about it. Yeah, love you guys. I give this a 4.5 out of 5. I really, really hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, thanks a million, and I'll chat to you guys soon. Tra.
I think it's very, very sweet that Lou thinks that we are in the position to fact check her on anything. We're not.
I did see, since I was waiting for the credits to roll through, I caught one of them said that the music was recorded at Abbey Road. So there you go.
Whoa.
Boys,
Which we all know Adagio in G minor was in fact recorded at Abbey Road Studios.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that.
Everybody knows.
By
Don't we?
Pete
The dice are
Gilchrist.
loaded. Everybody knows.
Oh, nice. Yeah, thanks for picking this flick,
For sure. Oh no.
Lou. It's one that I think we all have heard of, and just somehow none of us had seen. Which is kind of interesting. And sure, Liam Neeson didn't influence your pick. Sure.
And that's a
I
good
would-
call out with the idea of the mental health and stuff like that, because I do think there are some underlying themes that I just I didn't quite dig into, honestly, because the whole idea of the poem and his story about the dad and some of I think there probably is a little bit more there, and if it resonates with you, it probably feels a lot richer. I think it just didn't with us, and so we see it more as kind of standard, but I think there is probably a little bit more there than we're giving it credit for.
Yeah. I feel like that's probably true. I think it's pretty fair to say that they're going for something there.
Yeah.
Obviously, to me, it just rings as a call to altruistic masculinity and traditional values in some degree or whatever. I did not really register it as a mental health issue. But I guess you could see that argument. I don't know that it changes a whole lot about how I experience the movie, but it might elevate my thinking about the themes behind it. So
yeah,
good call, Lou.
Yeah, that
And
poem.
I don't want. Sorry, go ahead.
You can finish your thought,
Go
Randy. I don't
I
was
know
gonna
what it was now. Go ahead.
I say that poem we really didn't mention, but it's a short little poem that his dad wrote in the movie. It's once more into the fray, into the last fight I'll ever know, live and die on this day, live and die on this day. And he says it a handful of times throughout the movie, and it seems to be a big motivator for him, I guess, to live each day like it's your last, or
see that even kind of ties into, I didn't find it to be that deep, because even the problems with this dad and the way he describes his dad is the traditional Irishman who feels like he needs to puff his chest sometimes, but he also reads poetry, so that rounds him out. Or I don't know, it still kind of felt like that medium masculinity ground for me. I don't know.
I could see it from a mental health point of view, though. I'm looking at the line, it's once more into the fray, into the last good fight I'll ever know, live and die on this day, live and die on this day. And if you're looking at it from the perspective of somebody considering suicide, that has walked away from that and just continuing I can see that. I think that's a fair call. I will say that like it's a bit of a shame. Like I don't know. Every time I heard this poem start, I thought for sure he either said or was going to say once more into the gray, thus titling the movie.
Oh,
Was there
yeah.
the
Oh.
gray mentioned anywhere in the movie?
I think
a
it's
good
just
call.
the gray wolves. I think
Yeah,
is
the wolves is
Maybe
what
that's
I
what it is. Okay.
associated
I
it with. But
Yeah.
I
yeah,
didn't
that's a
know
good
that
call.
gray wolves was like a thing, like nomenclature wise. So that
I
makes
think
sense.
so.
I was trying to figure out. I thought that's what like, but every time I was like, is he saying the gray or not? Because otherwise, I don't know where this title's coming from.
That's like a call though, yeah. You
Yeah,
know
that
what
would have made
would have
sense.
made it a little bit stronger and maybe kind of would have made Liam Neeson. He didn't, if his dad had committed suicide, maybe that would have really brought
And
that
maybe he
home.
did, but they didn't really.
I don't think they
talk of it.
because then that would have been like generational kind of trauma or like him living through that because
Mm.
considering suicide in the same way
But that also
and keeping that poem in his mind and how it resonates with him. I don't know.
there seems like there should be a second half to the story about his dad. We know he's an alcoholic, or at
Yeah,
least
I
he's a
feel
heavy
like
drinker, and
like he reads
this poem himself every
poetry.
day. That seems like something you do. Like maybe the story should have been, if I was to workshop this, it should have been like, okay, his dad's a drinker. He's not a good guy. He abuses the mom or something like that, and like does it's just kind of a bastard of a guy. But something happens. He accidentally kills somebody on his motorcycle or something, and then when he comes out of prison, he's gone through 12-step program, and this poem is what gets him through every day, and he doesn't drink anymore, and that's what makes him an altruistic hero man. Like that creates a full narrative for it's like his dad is an inspiration for him, and he's failing his dad by considering suicide. It gives him more of an more
Maybe.
gas in that tank, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like there's something there. I just like it really just kind of washed over me. I don't think that they pressed the pedal hard enough on that.
Yeah.
At least not for me. And maybe I'm just dense. That's also very possible that I'm just too stupid to have gotten it.
Yeah,
Probably.
it seems like there's something percolating that maybe wasn't just totally fleshed out. I think we all kind of maybe vibe with that notion.
I
Mhm.
think so.
But regardless, there's some ideas here, and generally I'm like not mad at all that I saw the movie. So thanks for picking the flick,
yeah,
Lou.
thank you, Lou. Thanks for the support.
Thanks, Lou.
Definitely appreciate it. Yeah, thanks for grabbing a U pick, and hopefully we didn't bag on the movie too hard for you.
Yeah.
I do wonder, can you confirm or deny the size of Liam Neeson's hog?
And
What have you heard?
Personally confirm.
You're
What?
like maybe one of your
Hold
friends
on.
saw it, or I don't know.
What? Okay.
All the women in Ireland
Okay,
have
Bob's
seen this
Bob's
man's
trying
wiener,
to
as we know.
backstep here now. All of a sudden,
What
he got
the
caught.
fuck?
He got caught being a weirdo.
The people want to know. Okay.
The people that live in your brain want to know.
No, asking for a friend.
No.
Your psychic tiger wants to know, huh,
What's
Mr.
that?
Sigmund?
Wow, we really
Tell
we
me what that hog's like.
what that hog like. Covered a lot of ground this episode. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump into our Rotten Tomatoes segment. See what the critics and users think about The Gray.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Rotten Tomatoes segment in which I'm going to have these gents guess within the best of their abilities what the aggregate positive score in percentage is for The Gray on RottenTomatoes.com. We're going to start, as we usually do, with the critic score. There are 211 critic scores. We are looking for the percentage of those that are positive. Juice, why don't you start us off today? Where do you think that those 211 reviewers are going to put this movie?
I think this is a pretty safe movie. So I think it's going to be a general, like, acceptable, like, crowd pleaser in a kind of way. Not a lot of people are going to be looking at this. We're reviewing it as a horror film and from that kind of lens, but like in a general sense, I think this is a pretty safe movie for a lot of different people to watch and enjoy. And Liam Neeson's a pretty safe name, I think. So I think it's going to be fairly high. I could see it going. I mean, even like the things we were critical about, I think people would be more forgiving in 2011 when this came out, like the way the wolves look or something. So,
okay.
I think it could go high as like I think 80. I think 80 is reasonable. Yeah.
All right, 80 from Juice. All right, Bob, where are you going? You going over? You going under? Sideways? Reach around? What are we doing?
I kind of am in line with Justin's train of thought here. I think this is generally going to be pleasing just kind of across the board. So it's tough. Is it going to be higher or lower? I think I'll take the over on this.
Okay. How
And
much?
I'll go with I don't want a $1, so I'll $5 with an 85.
Oh, you could take in the
Fine, huh?
boys.
That seems too high. I just can't.
That
I
one
just-
extra point is
I just
what's
can't
gonna
go
tip
that
you
far.
over.
I just can't do it. Sorry.
Can't
All
bring
right.
myself. All right. Well, I've got some pretty thrilling news for you, gentlemen. One of you
Ooh.
is spot on the money. We got a ringy dingy here today. The correct answer is 80%. Justin's walking away with this one.
You
Congrats.
slut.
Congrats.
It's been a while for ring ding. Whoa.
It has been a little while, yeah.
All right.
Congrats
cool.
on that.
Well, hell
There you
yeah,
go.
boys. There we go.
Oh, you didn't even
Mm.
conceal it this time. Come
Getting
on.
too wise. I got to switch it up a little bit.
You know, my dad had this poem he liked to say.
Hell eat, boy.
Into the hell eat.
Now,
Once
other
again.
into the hell wild blue yeet. There's some other late breaking news here that I'm just seeing for the first time in this moment, which is that there is no audience score anymore on RottenTomatoes.com, but there
Like-
is
What?
a popcorn meter, which is the same.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
They just renamed it.
you were blowing my mind. And I was like,
yeah,
what?
it's like, what the hell?
It's the amount of popcorn you can consume within the runtime of this movie. That's
a
why.
lot.
Dude,
It's a-
can
it's a high
consume lot
number.
of popcorn.
Fucking hoover
No,
that
it's the
shit.
popcorn. So the popcorn meter, or the audience score, or the user score, whatever you want to call it, has over 100,000 ratings. Over 100,000. Bob, get your redemption. What do you think those 100,000 plus ratings are going to
Ooh.
net out to?
I'm going to redeem myself with the boys. 86 project. Thank you.
86, comma project. Okay. Juice, how about you?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be fairly similar as we like. It's a kind of just a general crowd pleaser, nothing too offensive or anything. So I guess I'll just double down with an 80.
80 again. All right. Well, let's see. Yep. Okay. So the correct answer, you guys aren't super close on this, neither one of you. But the correct answer is about 19 percentage points off. It's a
Damn.
61. Soju, you are gonna walk away with it from a distance.
Oh, that's
Congratulations.
sweet.
The boys
Damn.
let me down. I
That's
thought
pretty
they were alpha
surprising.
boys. They're not.
I thought you were gonna go with 69 dudes, and I was very
Fuck.
excited about that
Wow.
possibility.
I'm pretty surprised about that audience score being lower.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I mean there's a lot more ratings. And there's been probably a lot more like trickle of ratings coming in over time. So all of those things that critics in 2011 might have given grace for, not so much now.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
Let
fair.
this
that's my guess.
let this be a listen to everyone listening. Christian
Listen to
rockers.
everyone.
Christian
Listen
rockers.
to everyone listening here.
Everyone listening. Christian rock groups, they're not alpha. Dudes who's 69, they're alpha.
Ooh.
Remember that.
69 dudes.
There's a lot of
not an
lessons
alpha.
in there. I'm not sure if they all match up, but
There's
I
not
hear
a-
what you're saying.
I was listening, but I didn't hear a lot of lessons. I heard a lot of lessons,
Ah.
but
I
not
was
a lot of listening.
listening, but the listen
less-
sounded kind of off.
Listen to me. Ye hear
Listen to me,
boys.
here, son. I'm about to give you some good advice. You gotta
Sage
listen to me though.
Listen and let me learn ya.
lesson and
I'm gonna lesson you something. Here we
lesson
go.
and learn.
All of
Yeah.
our fathers have the slackest jaws.
Don't
apparently.
be a Sigmund. You gotta be an alpha.
Unless
We
you got a
are-
psychic tiger, then you do what you want.
This is a preview of our true old age conversations. I can already see that. Like, there's nothing gonna be nothing ironic about this conversation in about 20 years.
Can you imagine
Give
we've
me
done
30
this
years.
we've done this 10 years. What are we gonna sound like in 20 years?
Dude.
For yourself.
Dude,
If we're still
uh,
going in 10
dude.
more years.
that will be insane.
That will be in.
Dude,
That will be.
dude.
We'll
I'll tell you what
never
it'll sound like.
stop.
I don't know if there's enough horror movies for us to cover the last 20
We
years.
did them all. Let's give up.
We'll just keep
Well,
doing
we're
them
doing the
again.
Gray. I don't think that
It's time to
there's-
do
there's no-
Halloween again.
We already unbottled the genre mixing.
And
So we might as well-
501. Yeah, this ain't even a horror podcast anymore. We just decided, well, any
It's an alpha
film-
cast.
It's a-
We only talk about
It's an
alpha
alpha
movies.
I'm telling you, every time we mention the word alpha, we go deeper and deeper into the blacklist of YouTube's algorithm
Oh,
because
God.
we're adjacent to the Andrew Tates of the world. So
Oh, God.
I don't know who
congrats
that
to
is.
us.
I don't
Are
really
you
care.
serious?
God,
I think.
I don't
Oh,
know.
bless you.
I'm jealous of your
bless you.
ignorance.
Me
Thanks.
too. Me too. Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm
Yeah.
Stay
Yay.
that way.
good for me.
Just
Yeah.
forget that this even
I
came
could learn
up.
about every serial killer on Earth, and I would still prefer to know that to what I know about
Yeah.
Andrew Tate.
Right
Um,
on. Okay. Randy, are you done? Was there any crazy
No,
negative
yeah, there
reviews?
is more. Sorry, we were just chatting. There is a critics' consensus which reads: "The Gray is an exciting tale of survival populated with fleshed-out characters and a surprising philosophical agenda." That's a little lofty for my tastes, but okay.
So
Yeah.
lofty.
It's a very lofty statement. Okay, and we'll read one negative review. Sometimes they're funny. Here we go. Director Joe Carnahan says, "If you're afraid of wild animals or plane travel, this movie will put you off for good, for a good long time." Excuse me. Really? One wants to know, why is that a good thing? What the fuck? Like, what? That's not a fucking criticism of the movie. Why is it a
No.
good thing? What do you mean?
Then a
I'll be
plane
afraid to go
crashes.
back in the water. What a mistake this Jaws film was. What the fuck are you talking about? It's a movie. That's supposed to thrill you. All right.
Really?
Anyway, that's it. Let's move on, Bob. How
All
you
right.
doing over there in Trivia Land?
I got a little bit of trivia. Let's get into it.
All right.
It's totally time for trivia.
Boys, according to Liam Neeson's account of the film, the temperatures got as low as negative 40 degrees while they
Fuck
were filming.
That.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Liam. It's amazing he still has a dick tip, much less the whole hog.
Dude,
That's
I'm only
true.
filming films in like Greece and shit. Fuck that.
I'll pretend it's cold.
Just
I will
covered in
wear
grease.
That parka
Just greased up.
and
The
90
only
degree
way.
temperatures.
Greece or
Smoke cigarettes to
Thailand.
create
So that's the
com-
only place I'll make a film.
Greased up in Thailand. It's the only way Justin will make a movie.
It's the only way.
I think I know what that movie's
That's
about.
all right.
We're just normal men.
In
Just alpha men.
we're just
Just
alpha
alpha
men.
men.
We're just alpha men.
We're just Sigma men. Uh,
What does that even mean?
I don't fucking know.
I think that
Are there
I think you know
alternates
exactly
to the
what-
alpha?
If
and
you
the
have to
betas? Or
ask,
like
you'll
a-
never know.
Right?
I believe Sigma is an alpha who is too cool to hang out with any other wolves,
Oh.
aka a coping mechanism for loners who have no friends.
Wouldn't that be the Omega though? Wasn't that what the Omega Wolf was? He was like the
I don't-
outsider wolf.
That's what
or...
Liam Neeson said. I'm talking about like modern
Oh, and-
nomenclature
okay.
shit.
Oh,
So,
God.
like,
Not
I don't
wolf
know for
culture,
sure.
human culture.
I don't know about movie wolf culture that's based on bullshit that is treated as real. I don't know.
You got to read up on my wolf culture. Okay.
There are two wolves inside of us.
I gotta
an
go live
alpha,
amongst
a
the
sigma.
wolves to learn the
gotta-
culture.
and Roger Ebert, my boy.
Roger
his-
Eborts. God damn.
Some critic named Ebort says.
Yeah, my son is also named Ebort.
Ebort. We're out of the Ebort license, please.
Ebort got me.
Jesus Christ. Oh my
This-
God. This is a well-oiled machine.
My boy-
501.
501. Here we go.
501.
My boy.
Here's the
Ebort.
next 500. May they all be as professional
Oh,
as this.
He said that in his long career, this was the only time that he actually walked out of the next scheduled screening because it affected him so. After The Gray was over, this is a quote. After The Gray was over, I watched the second film for 30 minutes and then got up and walked out of the theater. It was the first time I've ever walked out of a film because of the previous film. The way I was feeling in my gut, it just wouldn't have been fair to the next film.
What next
It's a-
film?
Whatever he was watching, you know, they
He's
probably had
gotta
a
be.
bunch of
He's a
programs.
critic.
Oh,
He probably
yeah.
watched like 8 movies in a row
Ugh.
on Fridays.
Okay,
So,
I got you.
It bothered him and he left.
That's such a specific, like, fucking. I don't know. That's so specific to his life. It's very, very interesting.
Yeah, I think he just was tired.
He probably had to take a huge
Ah.
shit, so he like ran out of the theater.
Ah, it was the
Oh,
Gray.
My
you see.
stomach is upset from. He left it in all day.
Left it all day.
Apparently the last recorded event of a pack of wolves repeatedly hunting and killing a large group of people occurred in Turku, Finland in 1880 and 1881. There were 3 wolves dubbed the Turku Trio, who apparently killed up to 22 children in a series of attacks spaced over
children.
more than a year. The attacks
Boy, I'm
ended
glad I
in,
held off on hitting that bump until after you said that.
yeah.
Part.
The attacks ended in 1882 when all 3 wolves were hunted and killed via shooting, and in one instance they poisoned a wolf in a bait trap. So there you go.
So
It's been a while.
children over a year. So this isn't realistic at all.
How you weed out the betas, you know, you just let the wolves.
Well, I mean,
that
just
sort.
the whole
That's
idea
the
of like
Spartan way.
a pack of wolves like coming in and taking out one man one by one. That's not.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't really know about wolf culture, but I feel like this is not correct.
I now know everything about wolf culture.
Yeah. Okay.
Rob's a real Wolfenstein, you know? He
Yeah.
really knows his wolves.
This is the last bit of trivia I have here. Apparently on January 19th, 2012, this was filmed in British Columbia, by the way. The British Columbia is the province featured an article about the movie's crew buying 4 wolf carcasses, 2 for props for the film and 2 wolves to eat. And this apparently angered a bunch of environmentalists and animal activists. And, you know, they did a bunch of, you know, PETA got involved and, you know, they boycotted the movie and things like this. So there you go. 4 wolf carcasses.
Wolves to eat.
Apparently, yeah.
Yeah.
I've never heard of people eating.
Is that a
wolf-
method thing?
wolf
Or
meat.
Is it a?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. People will. I mean, I assume for survival you would like if you.
It's
kill a
good
wolf
for
and
your
you're starving,
libido.
yeah.
That's what I know about wolf culture.
Yeah, I guess that would be like eating
Oh.
dogs, right?
Oh God.
Holy jumped up ball headed Jesus,
I
pal
guess. Yeah. I mean, I
Just not
guess
like
it
a
is
technicality.
kind of. Yeah, they are descendants.
It's a couple chromosomes away. I don't know.
Ugh, gross.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Not gonna eat a wolf.
Mm,
Not gonna eat a dog.
no, I don't want to eat a dog.
But
No, I
wolf.
don't think I will. Right,
If-
really considering it too. That's
if
the
I-
voice of a man who's really giving it.
They
thought.
had bear meat in Finland. I remember that.
Yeah.
Bear. I could eat a bear, I guess.
Did you
That's
eat?
fine.
Did you eat? bears?
Actually, now I'm trying to remember if I did or not. It seems like I would have. I try to kind of do that, but I don't know. I don't
try
remember
to eat
honestly.
bear as much as possible.
Whenever I get the chance. I've had
Just to put them in their place.
I definitely had
It puts a little
reindeer and
extra
I've
tingle in your
had
dingle.
horse in Japan, but I don't
Ooh.
know.
That would
I can't
freak me out.
I can't remember if I ate the bear or not, honestly. Maybe.
Horse would freak me out, I think.
Mm.
I'd probably
Give
eat
it a
bear. I don't
chance.
think I'd have a problem with that.
Yeah. I think yeah. Whether I did or
had-
I didn't, I would. So I
I had
probably did.
rattlesnake once. That's probably the craziest thing I've ever eaten. Rocky
Yeah.
Mountain oysters,
don't-
which really aren't that crazy. They're nuts, I guess, but they're not that crazy.
He's a little bit of a
They
nut.
are
nut,
nuts.
Rob.
They-
Rob's a little bit of a nut.
They're nuts, but that's pretty normal for me. I mean,
They're
You just-
nuts, but that's just the definition.
You just eat them. That's just the
just
technical
plop them
definition.
in your mouth. That's all.
I know a lot about nut
I-
culture.
I go around popping these nuts all the time, and let me tell you, I get some looks, but boy, it's
This is-
savory.
one of the most unhinged casts I think we've ever done. Actually,
I think so. I think so.
that's all the trivia I have, though.
Okay,
I think
let's call it.
I think we got to round out with Cooter of the Week.
Here we go.
Straight chillin'. Cooter of the week.
Juice, what is a Cooter, and why do we hunt them?
Whoa, Cooter is a character type and a straight chillin' exclusive. Cooter must hit 3 of these 5 points to be considered a Cooter, but we want the Cooter with the most points. The 5 points of Cooterdom are sexual deviance, manipulation, smug arrogance, overall looking attire, and overall patheticness. Boys, there might be a Cooter, maybe a Cooter.
I think we're gonna be light on Cooters this one
The
myself. but-
only one that popped in my head was that guy, like, is it Landry or the guy who's like saying the plane's gonna crash or whatever?
yeah, yeah.
Pathetic,
What was
I
that
would
guy's name?
say.
Fucking-
Something like
look it
Landry
up.
or something.
Yeah, he's the only one that came
Flannery,
to mind
I
for me
think.
too.
Yeah.
Flannery, that sounds right. Or
yeah, something
Flannery.
like that, yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of
Flannery,
a
it's Flannery.
obnoxious.
It's obnoxious.
Dude.
He's pathetic, maybe is his strongest thing, but I mean, he's saying something to Liam Neeson or so. Oh, he's talking about his girlfriend getting an abortion or something. Oh God. Oh, wow, yeah.
Oh God,
Oh
That is
yeah.
the conversation I want to hear. I don't remember that conversation.
Yeah, it's when
very
he
well,
first sits
but
down on the plane and then Liam Neeson's like, shut the fuck up, and the guy moves seats.
He said so. He called it the scrape.
Dude, yeah,
Ugh.
that's
Oh my
why I kind of, yeah, let's just
I don't
let's just go.
love that.
I know.
Let's give him that
Let's
sexual
just-
deviance.
Let's,
Justin is about to
let's
pass
just
out.
say he's a cooter. We got him, boys.
It's
What, you don't want to expound on the scrape?
I just want to throw him in the clink and shut the door. And then maybe
Man,
Diaz. So Diaz has more of the smug arrogance, I would say.
Sure.
And
I think they both do, but it's like
yeah, but
so unearned and nobody
Yeah.
buys it that I don't think it like
yeah,
resonates that well for him.
but I mean, he was talking about like sleeping with the prostitute and getting the clap.
I forgot about that.
So I mean, I
Yeah,
guess
well-
if you think sleeping with prostitutes is deviance, then sexual deviance.
it's a
It's
consensual
an adult exchange.
Yeah, it's
It's an exchange of fluids and goods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
and good fluids.
So, all right.
Good
Well,
fluids.
then
The
let's
best
just say
fluids.
that maybe that one guy, just because I don't want to talk about him anymore, and we got the cooter.
They're
Well,
all
there's not
kind
much
of
else to say
light.
about him. Yeah.
They're all kind
Yeah.
of light.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. There's any.
Cooter
What about
lights.
the rest of that bar, the entire bar? Just put them all
What
away.
about that Omega? He was.
that guy? That
He was
guy.
a real
pathetic.
sexual
He
deviant.
gets his head cut off like a bitch.
That's really
Oh, yeah.
pathetic. He gets a stick rammed up his
Pathetic.
ass.
No wonder
Even
he's an
lift,
Omega.
bro.
They literally spit roast him. So
Damn. Okay.
God.
All right.
Damn.
All right. Let's just go ahead and call this one.
Let's give this segment the scrape. What do you think?
Oh, boys. I
what
can't-
is
I can't
happening?
do it. I can't. Oh,
cannot
my
get past
Oh.
the scrape. Can't.
dude.
Oh man, you see what Liam Neeson does to us? It's all fucked
See
up.
what happens when we hit 501? We just break down. We're just
We're
coming
fucked
undone.
up.
500 is that you
we
can
need
only
an
do
we need an alpha to
500.
come in here and set us straight. Somebody to keep us in line.
Another
on
one?
task.
Somebody give me a lot of strict rules.
I
to
doubt his
follow.
hog is as big as mine, so I think
I have a
we are-
daddy kink.
Just have to submit.
Well, just hang it on YouTube, and we'll have to have a literal dick measuring contest. That's gonna do it for us. Since we're recording so far in advance, we're not really gonna be doing what we've been watching or hotline screams. We kind of can't really. But again, thanks to Lou for picking this week's flick, and I apologize for how incredibly unhinged this shit was.
Oh, didn't nice.
Unhinged. My God.
Unhinged.
We cannot
I'm-
speak today.
The words get caught up in my mouth. I don't talk no good.
I am fine. Everything is fine. We're gonna be back next week with a brand new show, per usual. Dude, can't do it. Can't
Jesus.
talk. Can't talk.
Per
usual.
usual, we're gonna come back and
usual.
We'll
Every
be
time you
back.
try to satch, you glitch out.
You do.
I got this one. I got this.
Oh
We'll be
my
back.
God.
Next week with a brand new show, per usual. We're gonna be talking about, unless the schedule changes, we got another you pick coming up, chosen by your boy Jim. It is the
Right.
classic film, The Greasy Strangler.
Are you serious?
Ooh, it's gonna be set in Greece.
Oh my
Yes,
God.
there's a
Oh
strangler.
my god!
Damn,
the
you-
Grecian
you
Strangler.
shouldn't
Oh
have
my
done
gosh!
it. You shouldn't. Bob paid you off, didn't he? Bob paid you off.
Nope, didn't have to do anything.
I bet you did.
Jim said he really
I don't believe that.
loves this movie so much.
I don't believe that at all.
My big
he-
fat greasy strangler wedding.
Greasy,
Love it.
my big fat greasy strangler.
God.
Check out the
That's the
greasy
sequel. That's got to be the sequel's title, right?
Yeah, it should be.
My big fat
Um,
greasy strangler.
Damn,
That's
I'm
great.
like, I am really excited about this conversation. It sucks that I have to wait like 3 months to have it at the time of this recording. But you have 3 months to look forward to it, Juice.
I think I'm
I
gonna
know
be
you will.
absent that week.
I know you. We'll just reschedule it. We'll make sure you're on.
I'll be in Greece.
I think I'll be in Greece
Getting
that week.
strangled. Check out the Greasy Strangler. Get ready for next week's show. Until then, you can find us on all the social medias. We're everywhere. Just search Straight Chilling Podcast and we'll pop right up. And until next week, as always, all you mother truckers, please keep chilling.
This is a gallon of PCP.